Alrighty, everybody, welcome back again. My name is Jason Chrisman. Stop chasing and start listening. So, one of the biggest upsets I would say that we have with majority of people trying to become investors, whether they're a real estate investor or you're investing in a business, anything of that sort is, they're always chasing the hustle and the grind. You really need to stop, take a step back, surround yourself with people who are influential to you. Stop taking advice from your mothers, your fathers, your friends. People who don't have as much as you do shouldn't be telling you how to invest your money. So today we have three people on the panel. My name is Jason Chrisman. I am a millionaire real estate investor. We have Johnny Otis, real estate investor, king of wholesale, to be honest with you. Johnny's at a $50K a month right now in wholesale. And we also have Ryan Alexander. In my opinion, Ryan Alexander is the king of credit. I've seen him all over social. He has a huge following. And if you want to learn anything, and I mean anything about credit, iteachcredit.com. I'll post a link at the very end of this, and you can get to know him a little bit. And the prices he charges is unbelievably affordable. Let me say that. So he's out there to help the people. He's not out there to gorge you or scourge you and take your money. He's really out there to help the people. I don't think I've ever seen a service as cheap as what he has. And he does offer private one-on-one mentorships as well. So let me introduce my people. Johnny, say what's up.
What's going on, guys? How are you? Another beautiful Monday.
Absolutely. Ryan, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Great to be on here with you guys and excited to see what kind of questions you have and how we can drop and add value for all of your audiences.
Awesome. I love that. So right now it's about 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to jump right into it. Ryan, credit. Why is credit so important? So many people run up their credit and just let it go to crap. Just run up 20 grand of debt and just let it sit. They don't care. They're not going to pay it. So why is credit so important?
Well, it's really important because I always say credit opens up the doors of opportunity that you can't normally afford otherwise. For example, you're in real estate. Let me ask this question. You have 25 to 30-year-old people. How many of them have $400,000 cash to buy a first starter house in today's market if they didn't have credit? You couldn't, right? Like people don't have $400,000 cash. I mean, what would you see? Now, obviously, if you're doing wholesale stuff, you may find some deals, but like a regular turnkey property, you're trying to buy that house, man. At least where I live, the average household, and not expensive houses, they're $400,000. If you didn't have credit, how are you going to be able to afford to buy that house?
That's me too. We're at a $480,000 average price in New York, so I get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, and if you do, I want to know what you do for a living because then I'll maybe stop doing what I do. But like to have that much cash, it's impossible. And so whether it's buying a house, buying a business, buying a car, it doesn't matter. Or if you just simply want to travel the world for free, by having credit, having a credit profile, and understanding why you have it or how to get that score, that's what I teach because it influences your interest rates. It influences your insurance rates. It influences all of your approval odds. And that's why credit to me is so important because you don't even have to make a lot of money to have an 800 credit score, but you will live a much better life by having that credit score. And life becomes that much more affordable when you do have that credit score and you understand how to manage it on what I call a 7-day credit cycle.
That's awesome. And again, I've seen what you do. I've actually even spoke to one or two people that, have been in your group and they said you're amazing. Their credit has jumped up. They've done very, very well. What actually made you get into this? What made you want to get into credit besides having excellent credit yourself, which I've seen? And we're going to put you to the test on that in just a minute. But what made you get into this? What made you want to do this?
So I crashed and burned twice in my life. I got into commercial real estate when I was 20 years of age. And I was working, as you know, commercial real estate takes a little while for deals to happen. And this unfortunate thing called 9/11 happened, which was way more unfortunate for other people, but it happened to me. And I was less than 60 days away from my first couple settlements, which would have been 6-figure settlements per deal. 9/11 happened. The markets dried up and seized up. I lost everything I had. So I went and got into the insurance business, paid all my debts off. I paid them off. I did not get them removed. I paid them off. I started my own startup right around the age of 30, and I crashed and burned there because we hired a company that said they could build the technology. Well, I invested all my money. I had gotten funding, and long story short, crashed and burned again. So it took me 5 years to be able to build back and get my first credit card, which ironically was just about 11 years ago. It took me 5 years. I couldn't get a credit card. I couldn't get a loan. I was suicidal, being truthful and honest. I looked down the barrel of a gun because I'm like, I'm buried in debt. I have no way out. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. What the heck am I going to do? Thankfully, I slowly built back and I realized that the credit system was an absolute system. that had rules and there was an actual algorithm. And I said, well, if I can learn how the algorithm works, maybe I can make the situation better. Kind of fast forward a little bit, January 24th of 2018, not that I'm keeping track, I was watching Ty Lopez and this little kid who's 20
Sounds
years
like
of age.
you are. Sounds like you are keeping track.
Dude, I mean, I will never forget that day as long as I live. And when you look, when I show in my classroom, like when I show certain stats and like I show my own personal information when I go through credit coaching because I want people to see that I'm real. But I bought a $500 credit course. And from that moment, the fire was just born in my brain. I was like, oh my God, there's a system that I can teach both people who don't make any money live better, or people who I have clients that make 500, 600, 1,000 or $1 million a year, and they have bad credit because they always pay cash and they don't know how the system works. So they just pay cash, but it costs them. Like I just had a guy who sold his company for $210 million, can't get a mortgage, can't get a credit card because he told his credit cards to go away when he sold his company. Now he needs to borrow money. And they're like, sorry, pal, all the money in the world can't save you because you don't pay your bills according to your credit report. When I saw all these things, I'm like, I need to teach people so that they don't make the same dumb, mistakes that I've made in the past.
Oh, 100%. I have a very similar story. I would say about a little older than a decade ago, same deal. I couldn't get approved for credit cards. I was happy even to get a bank account because when you have such bad credit, some banks won't even give you a bank account. It's true. It's sad, but it's true. Now I have some of the top credit cards, but there is a credit card that you do show a lot on your lives. And I'm personally interested in this because my mortgage, just on my personal residence, over $3,000 a month. And if I could pay all of my mortgages, which is about 40 of them, I'd be extremely psyched. What's that credit card?
It's the Built Rewards credit card. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of hype. It's happening very quickly. There's a lot of mystery about this. Here's what I can tell you. The Built Rewards credit card right now, I think for the average person, whether you're a renter, whether you're a homeowner, it's the best credit card for you to have. I don't think it's the first credit card you should have, but I think it's a top 3 or top 4 credit card you should have. And here's why. When you get approved for this credit card, you can set up in your profile on your phone, you can set up, they give you a routing and an account number. So when you go to pay your mortgage or your rent, and yes, they tell you you can't pay your mortgage. I've been paying my mortgage now for 5 months, 5 successful payments on this card. And I found out because one of my TikTok followers is like, no, you can really pay your mortgage. And I was like, no, you can't. It straight up says it. He got on a private phone call with me and he goes, try it. And I was like, all right, let's go. What do I have to lose? I tried it. Now 5 months later, I have it. Now, they also tell you can only do one payment a month. I have seen people do more than one a month. They've also paid their auto loans with their Built Rewards card, the routing and account number that they give you. So to go to your point, you can pay your rent, you can pay your mortgage. You can also use it for regular spend, for dining, for traveling, and even foreign transactions. There's no foreign transaction fee, which is amazing. So fantastic, and that's why I love this card.
That's amazing. I definitely have to get that card. I'll be honest with you. When you mentioned that on one of your lives, I actually left your live and I looked up the Built card. And it does say you could pay your rent on it, not the mortgage. But I'm going to listen to you more than I'm going to listen to the actual company because I've seen what you can do. And I like it. I like it a lot. So,
and listen, they may take it away, but I'm going to get it while they're getting still good. So, I mean, and the points are being developed. I have over 200,000 Built Rewards points in 6 months. Now, you can only get 100,000 per year on mortgage payments or rent payments. But because I refer so many people out, I have over 200,000. And those points are transferable to places like American Express. Well, you can't transfer them to American Express. You can transfer them just like you can American Express points, Chase points, Capital One points. So you can transfer them to Avios, Avianca, Virgin Airways, Aeroplan, Flying Blue, KLM. They're so valuable. And guys, always know this. Points are way more valuable than cashback credit cards. Always.
100%. I get 1.5 on my miles instead of 1 point back on cash. So we're going to Florida. We just booked a trip to Florida to take my 2 little girls, my wife and myself. We're flying there absolutely for free, flying home absolutely for free. And I can actually do that about 4 times just from the money I spent in the last 6 to 8 months on my American Express Gold card. So I agree 100%. And that's why people don't
Gold
really
card.
understand.
I let all the people who try to say the Platinum card, the Platinum card is great for travel. It's not great for everyday spend. And that's why I'm glad you said that, because that's really important.
Oh, 100%. I love the Platinum card. I like the Platinum card for my business, but I love the American Express Gold for my everyday spend. We use it for food shopping. You name it, we use it. I pay a ton of bills with that card. I was actually approved, and I saw that you did a live where you were approved on the pre-approved. So for anybody who doesn't know American Express credit card, they don't send you a pre-approved limit. So what's going to happen is if you would say you want to spend 30, 40, 50, 60, $70,000, whatever it is on a lump sum, one-time purchase, you go on your app on the phone for American Express and they'll tell you what you're allowed to spend once you request the amount. You did that and I saw you were able to get $100,000. Kudos, man. Impressive.
I was on this card.
75,000 for me. You got me beat. That's the American Express Gold. Same thing for me. That's awesome. So I did want to ask you something. So we do have Johnny here. Now, Johnny's credit is extremely, extremely unique. Amazing investor, had some, credit issues in the past, does a lot of seller finance and wholesale deals. So he doesn't really use his credit, but we're always going into how much you're missing. Now, I bought 41 properties in 9 months using my credit, other people's money. I mean, credit's extremely, extremely important. I can't dish out, $70,000, $80,000 every time I want to buy a property in cash. I need the banks. Without debt, I'm not going to grow. And I don't care what anybody says. You could use anything else, seller financing, private money. It's going to take you longer. The banks is really what's going to get you there and get you there pretty quick. So Johnny's credit is very unique. It's a 689 and a 533. Have you ever seen a gap like that?
Yes. I actually have a football player. I have a couple NFL players that are clients of mine. And one of them, his two bureaus, it's not quite that big, but I think it's like an 80-some point gap difference. And his profile is not that much different, but he does have two different accounts that are not reporting. One's reporting on one and not on the other, and they're negative accounts or negative activity. That's the impact that these accounts can have. And they're not collection accounts yet. So there's a huge difference between open accounts, closed accounts, and collection accounts. And people don't realize that there's a big difference between the three of them and how they actually influence the algorithm. Again, I'm always going to reference the algorithm, and you're not even going to hear me talk about the credit scores much. You're going to hear me talk about a credit profile. The score is like a scale, right? If you're looking at losing weight, you look at the scale. I don't want you to look at the scale. I want you to look at what you're eating, what you're drinking, how you're sleeping, and how you're exercising. That's a credit profile. People look at their score and I'm like, I don't understand. Of course you don't. You need to look at the factors that make up your FICO score: payment history, utilization, age of history, total number of open, active, or closed accounts, and number of inquiries. When you understand all of that, and that's what I said I'm going to help Johnny when we're done this, I may be able to uncover what that problem actually is, and it might be smacking you in the face. You just don't realize it.
Yeah, I took a quick peek. I didn't really get it. I mean, Johnny, how does that make you feel, bro? I mean, that's rough. 150, 6 points? That's crazy.
It's tough, man, especially because, I know that, I do okay on a monthly basis. So it's not like I can't pay my bills. I can't do this. I can't do that. I make my payments. I don't understand. Credit in me has always been like a cat and mouse game. I've had, as high as like 750, 760. And then all of a sudden, I don't even know what happens. And it's just like, whoop, there it goes. And I have no clue. So, when Jay told me you were coming on, I was like, I have to be the co-host on this because I need to pick your brain. And it's just, this is something that I have property, I have this and that, but I work way harder acquiring my properties because I have to do it creatively. I have 19 doors.
Financing can be more expensive.
Right. It is and it's not, because you can kind of play with the terms a little bit. But, there's going to come a time where I'm going to have balloon payments due, and I need to be able to refinance these properties out into a conventional loan. And, by doing that, I'm going to need decent credit.
A 650 just to get you through it. And that's not at a good rate. You're going to be paying, with today's rates, 11%, 10%.
Right. So I'm going to be paying, out of my rear. And, it's not something that I really want to be doing, because I'm going to have to, get rid of the properties, which what kind of investor really wants to get rid of a property, right? So you don't buy a property to rent it out to get rid of it, 7 years later. You buy it to create that income stream and generational wealth. So I have to do something. And it was actually just by chance that he had you on, and I was just like, all right, this is a perfect opportunity. I'm going to pick this guy's brain,
I'm not sure you guys can see this. So we do have some audience that's in here right now, but me being the host, I might be the only one who could see it. Somebody did ask Johnny, and it's a silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway to light the fire. So here we go. By your rear, did you mean your butthole? Is that what that was the question I was asked? Did you mean your butthole?
Yes, I did.
The answer is yes. He meant his butthole. So,
For quality and training purposes, this call is not being monitored or recorded.
exactly. We're recorded for sure. We're recorded for sure. We could say butthole and rear, and that's okay. And if they don't allow us to say that, I don't want to be on it anyway.
It took me a lot of energy not to say other things.
You get offended by that stuff, don't go on my TikTok lives. I can tell you right now, because it's not for kids.
Johnny's what I like to call an 8-second person. So I don't mean 8 seconds in the bedroom. I mean 8 seconds. He can't say a sentence for 8 seconds without cursing. And no. I kind of have that issue too. I'm more of like a 12 to 15 second person in the bedroom, not the cursing part. But it's very similar to each other. So I do want to get to one point here. I do have people asking me this, and I'm curious myself. There's a lot of people out there that say a lot of things. Ryan, can you prove your credit score to us?
Yeah. Funny story. I bought an iPad so that I can do this. And this is what I love, being put on the spot, right? So as you guys can see, I live and breathe credit. This is my shirt. It mirrors that right there. That's my ultimate goal. I want to build a credit business big enough. This is my iPad. I live and breathe this stuff. But I'm going to show you my scores live. This is my Credit Karma. I'm going to log in real time. And I'm just going to let it update. And I don't know if you guys can see. It's not backwards, right? You guys can see this okay?
It's loading right now. For anybody who didn't see, it's iteachcredit.com with Ryan Alexander. We have a 791 and a 796. And I have seen Ryan score before on the previous lives for, his TikToks. It was in the 8s. So I'm assuming you took out a loan or you bought something or credit cards recently.
Yeah, I actually got approved for 3 new credit cards in the last couple months. And
there's a refresh. Yeah. 826, 785, 836. The man is legit. He has proven it. All you haters, sit back, shut up, keep it to yourself. Ryan is what he says he is. So
that's why I bought the iPad, because people were calling me out. I'm like, listen, I'll show it to you live in real time. I'm like, you said you saw me show that I got approved for 100,000. I did that live. I was in the American Express app, and you were talking about points and traveling. I wanted to just share this too. This is a huge achievement for me.
Wow. I think that's huge for anybody. You have about 15 times the points I probably have active right now. I think my highest ever was around 300,000. That's because I didn't use them for a while. But that's impressive. Yeah. You could fly first class for years. That's great.
We have a couple awesome trips. In fact, I leave for Barcelona on Friday. But yeah, I mean, the whole point is just to teach people this stuff. Because, right, what good is that if I hold that stuff to myself? There's so many people. I mean, I think there's like 110 million people that have credit scores below 700. So my mission is to bring the education to the table so that people now have the power and the ability. Because I don't care. I could drop it in people's laps, whether it was free or they paid, $2,500 for it. Some people won't do anything with it. But there's other people that will. And for those people that want to take action, that they want to make their life better, that's what I'm here for. That's why my program is called I Teach Credit. I'm not here to give you the fish like credit repair companies do, who probably don't deliver half the time anyway. I'm here to sell you a fishing rod. I'm going to show you how it works, and I'm going to teach you how to feed yourself and your family for the rest of your life. All you got to do is give me 15 minutes a week, and it'll work.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And there's really nothing good out there. You're kind of becoming a household name in credit. To be honest, I see you everywhere. And again, I've spoke to 1 or 2 people, 2 people actually, to be exact, that have been in your group, and they've had substantial differences in credit. That's phenomenal, dude. I'm in your group as well, and I see what you put out there, what you teach. I mean, it's fire. I have a great credit score. I'm in the 8s. But what you teach is absolutely phenomenal. And, people are curious. Price point, are you charging $10,000, $15,000? What do you charge to get in your group?
So funny, I was down in Dallas last week, and I was with my kind of coach mentor guy, and he said I should be charging like 10 grand because of the results that I'm getting and the constant proof. I mean, I have a thing. I don't. I build an online classroom, and they get mad at me when I say this, but I build an online classroom that, and you know what this is, Jason. It's called School. It's a little platform it's like a platform that is like a Facebook or whatever, but it's not. It's completely private, and all I do is I teach people. And as you can see right here, I'm going to go right to the About page. I charge $20 a month.
No, $20 a month. What do they get for that? I mean, look, $20, they should just get like a look at your eyeball. But for $20, what are they getting?
For $20, here's what you get. You get 2.5 hours of pre-recorded content on what the credit system is, how the credit algorithm is factored, what the factors are that make up your FICO score, how to find your reporting date, how to pay your credit cards, when to pay your credit cards, why to pay your credit cards on certain dates, how to get your first couple accounts, where you can go to look to see what you can qualify for with no credit inquiry, 6 to 7 free credit monitoring apps so that you can literally keep the thumb on the pulse of what's going on with your credit profile every single day. Every single day. If I apply for anything, ding, 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 my phone goes off like crazy because I have Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, Credit.com, NerdWallet, Wallet Hub, Mint by Intuit, Experian. All these different programs go off because I need to know that second if anything changes in my profile. And if you're not doing that, you're at huge risk for fraud, for bad credit, missed payments, all kinds of things that can wreck your score. Because I can tell you this, it takes a long time to build a profile up like this. It takes one bad activity that could drop your score 100 points. And that can be the difference between getting approved or not getting approved. That can make the difference between you buying for your house a house she likes versus a house she loves. All these different things come simply from monitoring your credit. And I had a guy who, he was with me for 2 months. 2 months, he implemented everything I said to do. And I'm strict. I'm like a drill sergeant. You're going to do what I tell you or I don't want you as a client because I'm not here to fail. In 2 months' time, he was able to refinance his truck, just his truck, and he saved $213 a month. His name is Joe Dixon. I'll never forget it. 2 months of simply doing what I told him. That's awesome. My record is 102 points in 9 days because when you understand the factors of the algorithm, I can look at the algorithm, I can look at the factors, I can look at the dates, and then I can say, hey, this might take you 9 months, but it could also happen in as little as 10 to 15 days. It's just really important for me to dive in and see it. And that's why I can't wait to look at Johnny's thing.
I can't wait for you to look at it either, man. I've been struggling with this. I've paid big money to credit card repair companies. I've done everything under the sun to try to figure this out. I had a credit repair company, legit. It was, I think it was, I don't want to say their name, but it was like something 6 months, something. And I paid them. Done. They called me back and was like, listen, we're going to give you a refund. We can't help you. We don't know what's going on.
Okay. I'll tell you off the bat, probably two of the things, but I'd rather just dive into it. Look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll record it.
I was even willing to put it on here.
Shared. You'll see factors, but no names, no addresses, nothing like that, no socials. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was even willing to pull up my Credit Karma on here for you to take a look. I mean, I have all of the students that I teach with wholesaling and everything else and in Jay's group and everybody that I'm in contact with, I'm very upfront about my credit score. And this is part of the reason why I am a teacher in Jay's group is because I'm that upfront that I needed to become an expert on creative finance and wholesale and stuff like that, because that's how I become an investor. So I had to teach myself, because of my credit score, how to do these other things to get where I want to be in life.
So let me ask you two questions. Number one, who is the person or the people that have taught you credit most in your life?
Nobody. That's the thing. Like nobody teaches credit.
I'm going to ask you a second question. Have you ever paid for education?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why have you never paid for credit education?
But that's the thing. I've always thought like credit.
I like that. I'm sorry, I'm going to butt in there. I actually like that.
You're right. Listen, I'm not opposed to paying for any education. I just didn't know certain educations existed.
But let me ask you a third question. Is it because nobody's actually teaching credit education in this country?
That's what I think it is. That's what I'm saying.
If somebody was waving the flag, hey, you want to learn about credit? You want to sign up here? People would probably do it. But people don't know the rules. Go to a bank and ask the bankers the rules of the credit algorithm. I guarantee you they're going to be like, what algorithm? These are bankers that are sitting here pushing credit cards on you. They don't know the rules of the algorithm themselves.
Right. And that's where I'm what I just said too. I just said I didn't know it existed. I didn't know anything like that existed because it's been such a struggle. I mean, for years. I've always struggled with the whole credit thing. Like all of a sudden. Right. I hope so, man. And listen, I'm going to join your group right after we get off of this. $20.
And you may not have the result you're looking for in 3 months. I'm not here to, sell smoke and mirrors or bags of dong. I'm here to help you understand what's wrong or what's going on. And sometimes there may not really be anything wrong other than you're not building properly. There's a reason it's called credit and payment history. You have to show certain things that don't make sense, but the credit system is based on debt. Now, I'm not telling you to go into debt, and I
Right.
teach people how to do this without going into debt, because credit card debt is the cancer of your finances. And I'm going to teach you ways to do this without actually going into debt. It will cost you money, but it's just part of the rules of the game. Like, you just got to play the game, and it won't be expensive.
Listen, you can't get anywhere in life without spending a little bit of money. I'm a firm believer of that.
Can I show a simple, fun example of something real quickly?
Please, yeah, of course. While you're pulling that up, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, while you're pulling that up, it's funny we talk about this in my group all the time, the investor circle, that it's hilarious how in school they'll teach you science, math, all these things, but they never taught you, how to balance a checkbook. Of course, that's not a thing now, but when I was younger, it was. They never really taught you about what credit is. They didn't teach you about investing, about stocks, how there's debt. They always said debt was bad. There's a good debt and there's a bad debt. If you put yourself in debt to make yourself more money, it's not a bad debt. You put yourself in debt to buy a Ferrari, that's bad debt, unless you're going to rent that Ferrari out. But the school system just doesn't teach you that. And unfortunately, people have to go to back channels just like us to get a real, street smart education on what's what. But
they
please
don't want you to know it. There's no money in educated people. There's no money in healthy people. That's why people
credit card companies are so predatory that it's disgusting. Like it's a predatory business. And until you realize that, you'll never even realize that you want to fix your credit. And that's where I came in. Like I was getting these, get this credit card. It'll help you fix your credit, blah, 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 blah. And I get them. And all of a sudden, like I listen to certain things and all of a sudden I'm putting this on this and this on this and paying it off every month. And these guys are hammering me with interest rates. Yep. I mean, 24, 29%. And I'm sitting here, now. Right. And I'm sitting here like, my credit's not doing anything. Like you telling me that to do this. I joined this thing. It's called Self. You do a 2-year program, right? It's 2 years.
$25.
$25 a month for 2 years, and then they send you whatever back after you're done with the 2 years. It didn't do a thing. I think maybe
something else is wrong. If that didn't do a thing, that means you have something else wrong, and I need to dive into that. So I
have one thing. I'm looking at it right now. I have a 96 payment history. I don't know what that's about. I have to look, but I have a 96% payment history on one and 100% payment history on the other. Right, I got to look at.
So if you want, I'm going to do this right now. Can we do this live right now?
Please? Hell yeah, we can do it live.
I want to show you this video first. This is what credit education can do. This was a video. This was shot one take in the car with my son. Now, he's my stepson. All 3 kids are my stepkids, but they're my kids. This is the inspiration for other people. Check this out. Ready?
Hey, Nick, how many days ago did you turn 18? 24 days ago. 24 days ago. Show me your credit score. He's 18 with a 713 credit
That's crazy.
Score. 24 days.
That's crazy.
Just follow me. I'll teach you some shit.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I can believe that. He's 18. He goes, I have a credit score. I was like, what is it? He goes, 713. Is that any good? I'm like, there are millions of Americans who don't have that and have no idea how to get it. So that's what I would teach you. So do me a favor, Johnny. I want you to go into, I don't care. I want you to go into the account that has the lower credit score with the 96% payment history.
Okay.
I want you to scroll down where it says credit factors. It'll say payment history, credit card use, age of history. I want you to and I don't want you to tell me, I want you to look at the missed payments. There's got to be certain missed payments there. Now, I don't know how many. I want you to see that. And I want you to just keep an eye on that, right?
Yep.
You see what the missed payments are?
Yep.
Now, I don't know if it's college education or student loans. I've been seeing countless people that have missed payments on student loans. And they're like, I thought they were in deferment. And this has all just come about in the last 2 to 3 months. If it's not that, I want you to take note of that, and we'll get back into it. Now I want you to go back to the factors. So click back one.
Okay.
I want you to go down to the credit factors where it says total open active accounts. It'll say total accounts, I think, actually.
Okay.
And then you just go down a little, it'll say see all open accounts or see all accounts.
This is like a free training we're getting right here, guys. Girls, listen up.
And listen, I have the screens memorized. Like I can do this stuff blindly.
I see that.
You see all the accounts?
Yep.
I want you to go to the bottom. There's a tiny green line. It doesn't look like a button. It'll say show closed accounts.
Show closed accounts. Got it. Yep.
Okay. I want you to click. How many closed accounts do you have?
6.
Okay. Click the first one and tell me if there's a balance on it. The top one.
Yeah, there is.
30 seconds. It took him 30 seconds to figure
And
out.
look at the look on his face. He's as confused as anyone.
Love it.
I'm confused.
I don't want you to share. What's that?
I'm confused as hell.
I don't want you to share any more details. Let's just save this. This is the sneak peek. I'm going to help you live when we're done this call. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to help you figure out what this is, and we're going to make sure we solve all these problems for you.
We just saw it here in person
because I was able to do that like that for you.
This is not, I mean, this is kind of crazy. This is not edited. It's not pre-recorded. This is live. And literally Ryan Alexander from ITeachCredit.com, just that multiple companies couldn't help Johnny. He just came up with a major conclusion in like 30.
You know what's funny too? I clicked on the rest of them.
You're worth the $20 times 100.
Right. So the rest of them have 0. Just that one on the top is the one that's. So let me ask you a question.
What's the balance, Johnny? The audience wants to know what's the balance.
$1,200, and I don't even understand why. It's got to be something. It's a Verizon. So maybe when I sold my house, they didn't get their stuff back when I sent them back. So that's got to be like the equipment charge.
Could be.
Probably. It's
Yeah,
probably so now I want you to go back one more, though. I want to see something. Actually, I need you to go back 2 more. At the top, it'll say total accounts. It'll say open accounts, and it'll say closed accounts. I need to know what both of those numbers are.
So open accounts, I have.
That was impressive.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No. Go back one more. And I'm going to teach you why Credit Karma is so
total accounts 11.
How many
Okay.
days ago did you turn 18?
And how many are open and how many are closed? You said
5
6?
open, 6 closed.
Okay. So let me now, and guys, this is why Credit Karma rocks. Anybody who says Credit Karma sucks, it's because you don't understand it. It's not that it sucks. You don't understand the value or what it's designed to do. It is not designed to give you a mortgage score. A mortgage score is an Experian FICO 2, TransUnion FICO 4, and Equifax FICO 5. A Vantage Score 3.0, which is Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, and all these different apps, they're based on a Vantage Score 3.0, which is similar or comparable to the FICO 8 algorithm. If you want to understand part of the reason you have a problem there, Johnny, I'm going to show you right now. Again, I'm logging in. This is my Credit Karma. This is on my phone now, not on my iPad. It doesn't work on the iPad, but it does work on the iPhone. When you come down here and you select now, and you can see here's my scores are all over the place because like Jason and I were talking about, when you use your credit profile, your scores are going to go like this a little bit. But I'd rather them bounce plus or minus 800 than plus or minus 680 because that's a huge difference. 100%. I'm going to scroll down and I want to show you guys something.
You're still tier 1, so I believe it's what 720 and up is tier 1, or is it 750?
Tier 1 760.
760.
Most banks, when you hit 760 or higher, your score doesn't matter anymore. It's all bragging rights. But if you can you see that?
Wow.
I have 36 accounts, but here's the thing. I have 25 open active accounts. Part of your problem is you have a thin credit profile. You told me it earlier on in the show. But the problem is your profile is not thick enough. What does that mean? Credit Karma now shows you.
It's not diluted.
You used to. The magic number used to be 10. You wanted to have 10 open active accounts. Now it says you got to have more. It says 21 plus is excellent. Basically, they want you to just build a bigger profile. What's the simplest, easiest way to build a thick credit profile and not go into debt? Can you guess?
No.
$0 annual fee cashback credit cards. Use them once every 6 to 12 months. Put them back in your safe or your sock drawer. Just use them to build credit because here's the thing. Let's say I have a credit card like my American Express Blue Cash Preferred card. I told you points are better. So now I use this card instead of using this card. Okay? Here's the thing. I use this card once or twice a year just so that it stays open. Even if I only use it 1 month of the year, as long as I keep it open, active, and paid on time, every single month it reports payment history. I'm not even using it.
That's awesome.
35% of your FICO score comes from payment history. Well, how do I add payment history without going into debt? $0 annual fee cashback credit cards. I'll see you guys in the classroom. 700creditclass.com. Let's go!
That's pretty amazing. He actually kind of just crushed it right there in front of everybody. Again, Johnny's been to multiple sources to try to get his credit fixed. I just looked at my credit. I have, let's see, 796 on Equifax, TransUnion 789. But again, I just did take out a loan, so that'll go back up to the 8s. And I have 27 open accounts. Awesome. So yeah, I have a ton of credit cards. I mean, my wallet is stacked, but I use them for all different things. You know, I like the credit cards. I fly for free. Not only do I fly for free, I get treated like royalty when I fly. I get access to things, you know, tickets before people even get them open to the public. If I want a seat at a restaurant, at a popular restaurant, American Express will help me get it. I mean, besides that, there's so many perks to credit cards. You know, even Amazon, you know, every year we get about $1,500 just on the 5 or 6% rewards back on Amazon. It's free money. I could buy 2 new TVs a year absolutely for free just by getting the points back. Guys, if your credit is below, I'm going to say a 700, you need to reach out to Ryan Alexander, iteachcredit.com. Ryan, is there anything else? Ryan, question. Do you do private one-on-one mentoring?
I do, and it's not $20, unfortunately.
Of course.
But let me tell you, my one-on-one, and I've had to change it because I've had too many people. I've had so many people get in, and a lot of people, they waste time, and I hate that. Here's how my one-on-ones work. Just like I was saying here with Johnny. What I do is I log into your credit profile. Now, most of the credit repair companies, they're going to have you do it. They're going to have you sign up for like My FICO or, you know, My Score IQ or Identity IQ, whatever it is. Here's what I do. It's a free app. It's called Credit Karma. Just showed you, just told you. The reason is because they give the best explanation of the factors. The information is the easiest and simplest to read. My videos in my credit classroom, they're on a 5th grade reading level. They're short, they're quick, simple.
One of mine.
Yeah. Yeah, but listen, do you know how many people won't actually show their credit profile because they're afraid or they're embarrassed or they actually have crap credit and they don't want to tell you or show you because they're embarrassed?
Nothing to be embarrassed about.
No,
Nothing.
Absolutely.
You should be embarrassed if you're not doing anything about it. If you're not trying to fix it, then you should be embarrassed.
That's it right there. Okay. So people like when brag about their fantasy football scores, yet they can't do anything with their FICO scores. I'm like, this makes no sense, guys. This is why you're failing in life. But with regards to my one-on-ones, here's exactly how it works. I dive into your credit profile. I create an assessment of every open account, every closed account, and I look at every single factor and I figure out exactly what's going on, just like I did with Johnny there. Okay. Once I assess it and I create my notes and I document everything, every time I do it, I document it. So you can't run, you can't lie, and you can't hide. If you're not doing the work, the factors will tell me. You look at the score in the chart to see whether your score is going up or down. All I have to do is look at your factors to know whether or not you're paying attention to me. Once I look at and I assess your profile, then I create a 3 to 5 minute long Loom video. It's like a how-to video, YouTube, except it's just a Loom video, which is only for you. I record the video and I say, hey, Johnny, okay, look, we're going to look at this payment history. We got these payments. This is missed. I need you to verify, validate, whatever. We go through that. Then I go to credit card usage. Now, for people who have multiple credit cards and they say, well, which credit card should I pay first? The snowball method? The snowball method is good. It is not the best. I teach you 2 other factors of paying off credit cards that will boost your score more significantly, more quickly, with the least amount of money out of pocket. Now, you still got to pay your debt and you should never carry a balance ever. I want to teach you this. If you carry a balance, if your credit card balance is $1,000, most people don't know this, you could pay $900 of it off and carry a $100 balance. You will pay interest on $1,000, not the $100 balance left over. This is why so many people go broke because they don't understand it and why they're paying so much interest.
I'm going to be honest, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, me either. I had no idea. That's crazy.
Didn't know that.
John,
I learned
John,
something
you
new.
can't play poker because your facial reactions every time I tell you something, I know when you don't know it because your face is a dead giveaway, man.
The guys at the cigar lounge love playing poker with me, man. I tell you.
It's like Johnny lost his virginity all over again. He's happy, sad, happy, sad.
I'm ecstatic because, like I said, and like I'm very upfront with my situation, and I'm not ashamed of it. I know what's going on. I know what kind of person I am as a person. My credit card score doesn't reflect that, so it is what it is. And you know, and a question. I guess we're going to talk off air because I don't want you to give too many of your secrets away without people wanting to come and show you. You know, but you know, should somebody in my situation, let's say I have these accounts, right? Should I call these people up and clear this up like right now? Should I get on the phone after this and call Verizon? Hey, listen, let's clear this up.
I would tell you, the faster you do it, the better. I have people that have $2,000, $3,000 of credit card debt that they carry balances. They've got $10,000 in the bank. And they're like, I don't want to touch my 10 grand.
That's
You know
crazy.
what interest rate your 10 grand is probably making you? 0.25%. Do you know
you're
what your credit cards are charging you?
30.
24 to 30%.
Yeah, that's
Friends
crazy.
don't let friends pay interest. We teach them how to collect it, not pay it.
Right.
So to answer your question, your credit score, even if you're not paying interest on those accounts, your credit score, if you don't know this, it influences all of your interest rates and your insurance rates. So your auto insurance, your home insurance, anything insurance-wise you have, you're paying a higher premium because every 6 months they're monitoring your credit score. And if you want to know something really interesting, how many people think it's great? Oh, the credit card companies, they all give me a free credit score. Do you know why they do that?
Yeah, it's garbage.
They're spying on you. They want to know. This is why people's credit limits are being reduced. They're getting credit cards closed. It's because they have that so that they can always keep a thumb on the pulse as to what's happening in your credit profile. The whole system is set up and rigged, and if you don't know the rules, it's your fault.
So let me ask you another quick question. So somebody in my situation, right? So obviously we're going to talk offline. And I'm going to go on. I'm going to pay these things today. They're gone. But should I and what should I start to look for as far as like cards and stuff like that somebody in my credit profile can get approved from to bring, like you said, those accounts up?
Okay.
Let's see if I can guess what Ryan's going to say. Okay, I want to see if I can guess it.
Go for it.
I think you're going for the Capital One or the Discover.
Have those already.
So he knows it, but that's Jason's right. There's two things I'm going to ask though. The first thing is before you go and try to get approved for anything, number one, you got to look at your profile and understand what you have currently. What can you do first? $1,200 was Verizon, right?
Yep.
$1,200. And I don't know you, right? So I'm asking this question because I don't know. I've never met. Well, I've spoke with Jason once before on the phone, but I don't even know Johnny. I've never met Johnny until we went on this live right here.
It's true.
$1,200 will not make or break your life, right?
No.
Okay. So for you, that $1,200, paying that off immediately as fast as possible will increase your approval odds. So it makes sense for you to pay that off first and then see what Jason was saying or hinting towards. And everybody can write this down. I'm giving all this stuff for free. Go to discover.com or go to CapitalOne.com. At the top, select credit cards. Perfect. Wait, let me see something. Okay, so that's the Quicksilver card and the Platinum card. So I can tell you this, no disrespect. The Capital One Platinum card is nowhere close to this Platinum card, okay? Oh, no. But I guarantee you this, Johnny, I'm going to get you to this level faster than you think is possible. You're just going to do everything I tell you to do. Now,
and I will.
What you want to do first is look to see what's on your profile. Then you go to Capital One or Discover, select credit cards. They have pre-approval tools that will tell you what you qualify for based on your current credit profile. I've had people that only qualified for secure credit cards or for Capital One Platinum credit cards and Quicksilver cards with low limits. I tell them do this, this, and this, and in 30 to 45 days, boom, all of a sudden Saver card, all of a sudden Venture card, all of a sudden the top tier cards then become available. Because what I do is I help you to restructure your credit profile to make you look better, to make you look less risky, and to help increase all of your approval odds.
One of my favorite cards that I have. One of my favorite cards, the American Express. I mean, if you guys want to go into this, I can go deep into credit cards. I have so many, it's disgusting. Let's see.
You know, it's sad
business here.
Yep.
You know, I have, pretty high, rate at my bank. I have, this is my ATM card. I have, I'm a private client at Chase, but I can't get any of their cards because my credit sucks.
Hold my beer, buddy. We're going to go to work.
I kind of want to keep going with my credit cards. I think I have 13 or 14 here in my wallet, but I won't. I do see you do that all the time, Ryan. You do show your credit cards all the time. I'm always worried I'm going to show my numbers. But,
just so you know, all these cards are all expired cards. They've either been expired cards or they were hacked cards that I had to get new cards. But this is just what I do all the time because to me it's really important for people to see. I mean, the Sapphire card doesn't even look like this anymore. This card expired in 2018, but the reserve is in my wallet, right? These are all my actual cards. Now they're all, again, expired cards. I have new cards, but I mean,
let me see your Chase. What does it look like? That's mine. I've had this card for years.
Yeah, that card. My card's expired. They just redid that.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you that card expires in the next year or less.
I would need my glasses to see.
Yeah, probably. That's still the metal one, right, Jay? I think they did away with the metal for the Sapphire, didn't they?
You're actually, it's metal, yeah. 0724. You were correct.
Guys, listen, and again, I don't know you guys, so this is just because I know this stuff so well. But guys, let me tell you, it took me 6 years of studying. I paid over $3,000. So when people say to me, and I asked you that question, Johnny, did you ever pay for credit education? I paid over $3,000. That's why I now have mastered this. I've created a full-time company to do just this because people like you could probably do 100 times more if you had the ability to leverage what you're doing from an income standpoint, but leveraging somebody else's finances.
Oh, 100%.
I'll put it to you this way right now. I'm at a point right now in 3 of my properties where if I were to refinance them, I'd pull anywhere between $50,000 to $80,000 on each one.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So that's
you need
that's
that
where
650 to get there. Yeah, so you got to do this. That's it. You got to do it.
If you want to document this for all your listeners, I'll put my money where my mouth is.
You don't have to. I mean, to be honest with you, I can usually tell a bullshitter. You're not a bullshitter. You definitely just shut up everybody. There's a few people in the audience that first started out that were like, oh, let's see his credit, blah, blah, blah. But your credit score is a tier 1. We saw it refreshed. Your son even has a better credit score than probably 50% of Americans. Johnny, you literally helped him lead in the right path. I mean, probably did just fix his credit in under 45 seconds. You're impressive, Ryan. I'm going to be honest. You're impressive. If I had a lower credit score, I would pay you $5,000 to fix my credit. I don't know what you charge for the one-on-ones. You don't have to say it. That's completely up to you. It might be a per case thing, but you're worth it. In my eyes, you're worth $5,000 or better easily.
So this is a great thing. And I'm looking for feedback because I've had business owners tell me I should be charging $8,000, $10,000. I mean, literally, again, this is all post results. Before results, just like your listeners, everybody thinks I'm another typical credit repair guy.
Yeah.
80% of them fail. That's the reason why credit repair is one of the highest chargeback categories in all of business processing. Because credit repair companies, they bought a book or they watched a YouTube video, they downloaded some letters and they're like, oh, I'm going to fix your credit by sending letters. That doesn't work. Let me tell you why. Number one, technology is increasing. These companies are billion-dollar companies. You think you sending a letter is going to make that debt go away? No. And even if it comes off your credit report, that doesn't mean that it's gone.
Yeah.
What you have to realize is the number one factor in your credit profile is payment history. You need to build credit to get a higher credit score, not remove it. But that
can I tell you something real quick? And I agree with what you're saying to an extent there. We had 2 students in my group, 2 girls in my group. They had stuff in their credit report. And, I let them know the secret that, if you argue the debt's not yours or there's a misspelling, look, I'm not a credit expert, but I know a couple loopholes, a couple tricks. If you argue the debt and they don't respond back to you and you send it over to the 3 credit bureaus, it will come off your report. And it did. One girl had like 8,000, another one 2,500, gone, like they paid it, but the debt may still be there. It's just not on their credit report. So that's what you're talking about, correct?
Yes. Or sometimes, and you'll see this, because I've seen this happen on people's lives a lot. They'll say, hey, yeah, by the way, the debt you got off my credit report came back on.
Ooh.
Remember something. The credit bureaus, their information doesn't come from them, and it doesn't come from the lenders or the banks. It comes from third-party data providers like LexisNexis, CoreLogic, Innovis, Cavers, all these other reporting companies. So even if it comes off of here and you try to block this or you try to freeze this account, eventually that debt may come back on there because somebody's trying to collect it.
Makes sense.
It does come off sometimes. You're 100% right. Sometimes it does come off.
There's companies out there that, these collection companies, their job is to buy the debt from somebody who has the debt and turn around and sell it. So they buy it for pennies on the dollar, maybe a $10,000 of debt they pay $500 for, they turn around and get you to pay $4,000. I mean, so it's a business out there. Guys, look, we're going to wrap it up at this. If you truly want to fix your credit, and this may be the first time you're listening to myself and Johnny, we're reputable in the real estate industry. I have great credit. Johnny's going to have great credit after hearing what, Ryan Alexander just said. But Ryan is 100% legit in my eyes. I mean, great credit score. Son has great credit score. Just literally shut up everybody. I don't see one person in the audience saying anything negative, and that's rare. So
If they do, I'm happy to address it. Like I don't hide from a fight. Like
yeah,
I want to be as transparent as possible so that people have the faith. I want to be a household name in this country. I want every single person to wear this shirt to say, hey, this guy actually taught me how to live a better life.
that's awesome. And it's true. And I'm a fan. You got a fan today. I'm in your group. You know, Johnny is, I'm going to guarantee you're going to be in your group.
I'll
in
be
about 25
signing up in
seconds.
the next 10 minutes.
So I'll be pushing my students your way as well. So guys, we're going to wrap it up at that. I learned a lot today. You know, I know a lot about credit, but you taught me things I didn't even know that existed. So thank you very much for that. And the audience, thanks to you. Johnny, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on. Ryan, we'd love to have you again on in the future, a few months from now. That would be great. After, you know, you could teach us some new tricks there. But
I'm
thank
going
you
to come
very
back
much,
on right after
everybody.
you help Johnny's profile.
Yeah, let's see where I stand in a few months.
All right, so let's do a recap in 90 days on Johnny's profile, and let's see if let's see if Ryan could do it. All right, let's do a live test.
Johnny, you should put your Credit Karma scores up just so people can see it, and then we'll
absolutely.
take a screenshot of it.
Yeah,
and
let's
then
do it.
Sure. Oh, if you don't have it on your phone, then don't worry about it. I thought you had your phone.
Oh, no, I got it right
You
here.
got to do it on your phone so we could see it.
Listen, I want transparency, and I want people to put me on the spot.
That's impressive. I liked it. I enjoyed this
It may not
podcast.
happen in 30, 60 days, but I will tell you this. We will work on it until it gets done. And that's what my guarantee is with my one-on-one coaching. I guarantee the results, and in 6 to 12 months, I guarantee to get you your money back. All right, so back that up just a tiny bit. Right there. What does that say? I can't even read.
Yeah, Johnny, come closer now. It's blurred. Okay,
Oh,
right
there
there.
we go.
564 and a 633.
Hold on, 564 and 633. 564.
564 and trans. Equifax is a 633. All right,
Johnny,
let's see what Ryan can do. Look, Ryan, I don't need you to prove it.
Sleep, buddy. I'm ready to go to work.
I don't need you to prove it. I'm not asking you to prove it. This is a challenge.
I'm going to get the number from Jay right now, and I'm calling you as soon as we get off of here.
Let's go.
Is that all right, Ryan? I give Johnny your number? All right, awesome. Thank you very much. I said, is that all right if I give Johnny your number?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if anybody else, info at I Teach Credit, send me an email. Let's go to work.
There you go. Again, this is Ryan Alexander.
A lot of times I try to call people real quickly. Just send me your name, your phone number. Because here's the thing, guys. If I always do a quick 5-minute phone call first to understand your situation. If I don't think I'm a good fit for you, I'm not taking your money. I don't need to take anybody's money anymore. I only want to help people that I know A, need the help, and B, can afford it. If you can't afford that, then just join the 700 credit class for $20. You'll learn more stuff than you can understand. But if you really need the help and you have the finances and the resources to throttle your profile, let's set up a phone call because I'm promising you, give me 30 to 60 days, it will change your life.
I love that. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll wrap it up at that. Again, our guest, Ryan Alexander, iteachcredit.com. We can vouch for him. We just saw it here today. Something that many people couldn't do. He literally pinpointed in like 40, 45 seconds what Johnny's problem was on the credit score. Again, our guest, Ryan Alexander, iteachcredit.com, John Otis, and myself, the host, Jason Chrisman. Thank you very much. God bless.
Have an awesome day, guys.